Shenanigan Sports Pub.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live today from Shenanigan Sports Pub in my hometown of Dania Beach. We're at 1300 South Federal Highway. We're getting loaded up onto the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group. 152,000 people.
Wow.
We're with
Wow.
Pat Utter. Where did your
Wow.
little emotional support animal go? I thought we were going to have like a Dave Portnoy moment.
She's working at Vixen's.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You got me, Pat Utter. No, you had a little,
That's
a little
my,
puppy.
that's
I didn't know
Nugget.
if you were
That's
going.
Nugget.
I didn't know Nugget. You were going full Dave Portnoy on me with like Miss Peaches.
No, my sweet Jules had a litter of 10 French bulldogs.
Oh wow, and you had it in your lap a
Yeah.
second ago.
Yeah.
But I guess you didn't want to trigger the delicate souls on Let's Eat South Florida, who when they see
It's
pictures
a service dog.
it is a service
It's a service
dog, and
dog.
you have a
Everybody-
big sign out
Everybody,
front. And I know you
what
need
service it provides is it keeps a recovering Irish bar owner company wherever he goes. So instead of reaching for a Guinness and a Jameson, Irish love boxing, they love dogs, they love drinking.
I was going to
And
say,
now I'm down to dogs and boxing right now.
I was going to
And
say,
restaurant business.
after last night's Panthers
Well,
performance, you needed an emotional support animal because that game made a little bit of everybody a little bit
they got a good
anxious.
They got a little punch
depressed,
in the nose, didn't they?
All the mental health conditions. What happened in that second period? Did you watch the game?
I did. I watched the whole match. I loved it. But I got to tell you something.
You loved it. What are you, a Bruins
here's
fan?
the thing. Here's
Okay.
the thing. They're going to reach down deep now.
Yeah.
Okay. They took everything for granted. The Boston had been, Boston, and obviously South Florida, we've had a connection, rivalry, New England, and somehow the odds maker had kind of ruled out totally Boston. Boston has been playing hard-nosed. They went to a 7-game series. The Panthers have been laid up for a week, taking a nice relaxing thing, drinking a pina colada, taking it easy. And this team came down here and they said, listen, we're not buying into any of it. I think last year, didn't they go down 3-1?
The Panthers went down
3-1.
3-1, rallied, even though they were the 8th seed against the number one overall seed. They won Game 7 on the road in Boston.
Right.
And for that reason, I think
This
Boston
team's gunning for them.
A very dangerous team, revenge on their mind, and they showed it. They played like a team that wanted to avenge something last night. The Bruins did. And I actually the second that overtime goal went in for Pasternak and the Bruins against Toronto. No, I'm talking about last.
Okay.
Talking about on Saturday night when it was a Game 7 overtime, the most exciting thing
that was
in
incredible.
hockey.
And I was glad Boston was coming in. I'll tell you why.
All right, I'm not. I wanted Toronto because they are a choking dog team. So,
well, Boston is going to wake them up, and I think that this team here with this punch in the nose, they woke them up. They took one at home, right here. I mean, come on, how big?
So wait, now you like the position the Panthers are in, and you're going to plunge on them to win it all, or at least win this series?
Maybe.
I'm loading up.
You're going with the degenerate angle.
I'm loading up. I'm loading up.
He owns who he is.
The man is confident.
I'm betting the house.
He's got
on
his
the
green
Panthers,
jersey.
or we stay home.
Well, let me tell you a couple of things that kind of disturb me about the trends. Number one, they, Bad Bob returned in the second period. When the defense falters and then he lets in maybe one greasy goal, and that upper one, he crouched down too much where it got up over his shoulder.
That was just weird.
And then it was just, again, it was a weird
No, he
period.
wasn't hot.
And so we had the return of Bad Bob, the return of horrendous defense, and it was a bad time. But that's not a good trend, especially when you're going against a team that's gunning for you now to avenge last year's upset loss.
Do you know who I bet last night on the Panther game? Do you remember who I bet?
What do you mean?
Who
Did you bet a goal?
Who did I bet last night? The Panthers.
We got
and what
Kennedy
did I
here
say?
delivering
What did I
food.
say? This is a long series, isn't it?
It is a long series. It's a
It's a
7-game
long
series.
7
I'm not
game-
one to panic.
The,
Nah, I mean,
the
look,
cream rises to
Look,
the
this
top.
Panthers
baby.
organization is different than in years past, and I actually
Wow, look at that! You
So
went.
the-
I
Oh,
got
a 954 bird.
no, it's your
That's-
special. Your
yeah,
Kansas
that's your
we
954
entered the 954.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about
let's
this
talk
burger
here.
in a
Let's-
minute. But
Oh,
let's
this is the
first-
954 burger.
Yeah, they got a special
Nice.
burger on the
Yes, we
menu
do.
for our
Oh,
friends
cool.
at Visit Lauderdale.
And the only reason I
954
have that
Burger
is I pay attention to your show.
Yeah.
And listen, you sometimes you say, whatever, but I think
I say
you
a lot
happen
of
to have,
things.
I think that the people that you're in your group are the most knowledgeable people. No, really,
Your flattery
I mean,
will get you
no,
nowhere
no,
with
no.
that
I mean,
group.
hey, listen,
I hate them like poison.
no, I'm impressed.
Why
Listen,
do you-
I've stated it before. I think creative criticism
No,
is
constructive.
very
criticism.
constructive, but it's creative.
No, it's
too.
creative.
It's creative.
It's creative.
But anyway, I was happy to see the competitive edge with my my burger, and I'll tell you why.
I
This
like your
brings
brisket.
out people's passion, right?
Yeah.
You have a passion. We have an election coming up in November. We have a
Oh, God.
Panther series going on. We have a Burger 954. I happen to be a
Got
big
your shack
proponent
and
of
grilled wings.
handcrafted burgers.
Yes.
I don't believe in any of the machine cut burgers that look like they came out of a machine. So I have my own opinion on stuff.
No,
So
and,
here
and
we
you
go.
know, and one of my opinions is I'm
Right.
usually not a big fan. Well, first of all, I'm not a fan of smash burgers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
And this is one of the reasons why I love your burgers here at Shenanigans.
Thank you.
Because they are handcrafted. They're big, meaty, kind of those
Yeah, you get to
steak
eat
burger
meat.
styles where you go and you could order it rare or medium rare, and it comes out red and juicy in the middle. I love ordering it here and eating it here because, if you get it to go, sometimes the burger keeps cooking and you might have a little problem with. I mean, it's just one of my fundamental rules. It's like always the best experience to eat in-house,
thank
even
you.
though you have the drive-through window.
Yeah.
Now, having said all that, I am not usually the biggest fan of double meat burgers where you have
Interesting.
a
meat, I
bacon
thought-
burger or a pastrami burger. In this case, we have your lovely Texas brisket that comes from the smokehouse side.
And you notice it constitute less than a quarter of the size. It's a compliment.
oh, okay.
So it's not a
it's a little
brisket.
schmear, a little,
Yes, it's a topping item.
right.
And the cheddar cheese blends really good with the spicy pickles. And the fact that we have a Southern Pride Smoker 550 and that we do our own in-the-house brisket, I figured we could put the two places together. And I happen to love the fact that this is one of our items that we entered.
All right. Now, so again, it's 954 Burger Month. It's in conjunction with the National Burger Month.
Correct.
And it's Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. They decided this year, they're having a year-round events and festivities. And they
Awesome.
had the kickoff event last Wednesday at Lauderdale, where there was a smash burger truck was there, and they did a nice job with their various burgers. But again,
You
there's
do
gonna be
realize that
months-
all you could get, I was born in 1955. So all you could get in the neighborhood delicatessen or in the neighborhood restaurant was a smash burger. There was no grilling.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a griddle.
It was a
flat
grill.
top.
Yeah. So this phenomena is just, I think it's great for people that like that flavor and texture. I can't say anything disparaging against it. It's just I had the choice to put a flat top in or a char broiler with a high BTU, and I just chose.
you
the
made
char
the right
broiler.
choice.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
It's just a preference.
there's another place that's on the Intercoastal in Hollywood that recently is sold, and that I loved for a long time. But your burgers kick the crap out of it right
Well, this
now.
is
and
a
I'm
locals
sorry,
place.
But,
It's a locals.
but
We're locals.
I don't mean to disparage any other places, but I do have a choice when I want like one of these big old kind of high quality meat burgers. And a couple of other things besides
Go ahead.
954 Burger Month, and you can get all the details and the upcoming events with Burger Beast, Chef Gonzalez, including the big May 19th
Yeah.
Sunday festival
Our
that's
friends
going
at
to be at Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. That's on
A great
Sunday the
place.
19th at noon. I have a conflict. I will not be there
Oh.
because I'm going to be with my daughter at her high school graduation.
Nice.
But again, tickets for that available on 954burgermonth.com through Eventbrite. We love the whole festival. And the idea is all these restaurants around the county are coming up with new creative signature burgers for the month to celebrate. And this one here, I guess, is going to be available all month long. And
yes,
this
it
your
is.
Texas,
Yes, it is. That's
Texas
that's
brisket burger. I love the pickles. I love the cheddar cheese, the barbecue sauce.
They're spicy pickles, by the way. We
Oh,
brought
good.
them in special to counteract the
Grillos? Are those
yeah,
the Grillos?
yeah,
spicy
yes, and
pickles?
there's a spicy pickle.
All right, much to Lubie's.
And this is our
Yeah, I
black and
want to
grill
cut
wings.
that so bad,
No,
but I
you're
feel
not
like you're
cutting
not
it.
letting
No.
me. I want
This
to
is a
try
burger
that
that
extremely
needs
badly.
to be eaten whole. It needs to be messy, and even though not Lionel messy, it needs to be like messy, dripping all over my face. Even though I've been on a health kick lately, Pat.
You look good, I've gotta
been
tell you.
dropping a few pounds. I've
Gotta
been
tell you.
staying away from the sugars and the carbs, but I do have to make an exception for the show. And
Okay.
when I get I could knife and fork this thing.
You don't have to cut it in. Like just cut a piece
No, I'm
off
not
so I
cutting
can
up.
try.
We're
the
gonna
burger.
get you another
Lubie, I'm
burger.
ordering you
I'll
your
pay for
own.
it out of my
I
own
don't need a
pocket.
You're getting
Lubie.
your own.
I don't need. My
Here's what I'm doing.
No, I
This-
kind of agree with them, Lubie. I gotta
this
agree with
beauty-
I'm
them.
not fighting
Look,
you. I know.
get a
This
picture.
beauty deserves a Mayo Big Bite.
I know
Here,
real
and here,
burger.
I don't know if you can see it. If you want to go to the live cam, I'm going to turn up my microphone. I'm going to
Wow.
have Pat do the play-by-play, or maybe Lubie.
Okay.
I'm going in on this.
No, no,
Because are there mushrooms and onions on
no,
it?
no.
It's just the brisket.
Just
Burger,
the brisket.
brisket,
Just
cheddar
the brisket.
cheese.
Brisket.
The brisket is a
pickles.
12 to 14 ounce, low and slow, cooked in house brisket, topped on top of our grilling, chilling. There we are. There we are. Good job. What do you think? It was a combination of flavors.
Your doctors love seeing this image.
Cardiologists are waiting. Remember they used to have that on the side of 95?
Yeah, exactly. That's the guy that he needs to see.
Then they found out that was all BS.
Once again, I'm proven wrong with my whole silly theory about no double meat. It really works. You get a little bit of the nice
Sweet.
texture
Mhm.
of the brisket, a little bit of fatty juiciness on top of the burger, which is also already fatty and not fatty, juicy. And yeah, that barbecue sauce gives it a little sweet edge. And I haven't even gotten into the spicy pickle yet. So, Lubie, excuse me, I got to take another bite.
Go for it.
Go right for it. That's a good sign.
So, who came? Pat, did you come up with that? Who came up with that burger?
I'd like to say that Chef Jose was he wanted to, okay, what makes us different than anybody else, and there's so many different great burger places around.
Yeah.
Is that when I took this place over, this was Charlie's Barbecue next door, and he came via Texas, and one of his special items was his brisket, low and slow brisket.
Nice.
So the fact that we serve a great burger, just normal with all the different, all the different, everything that condiments and every different style and everything, we wanted to put the two together. That's where we have a little bit of an upper hand. We have we have an actual in-house barbecue.
And it works.
We don't put it with I don't want to name the place, but we don't put it with liquid smoke in an oven covered with aluminum foil, then thrown on a grill. Our ribs are 4.5 hours,
No,
and our brisket. So we're a real barbecue place.
I love your barbecue chicken too. Now you'll see
Thank you.
that in concession to my failing health, I am going to push aside the French fries and the coleslaw, even though I love it and it's cool and
Nah, you do a great
creamy.
job.
Do you add sugar to your coleslaw usually?
No.
No? Oh, in that
No.
case, coleslaw is coming back into the picture here. That's great. I do love a good coleslaw as long as it's not too heavily sweetened. It's one of the things I'm watching these days, Pat. Good job. And again, 954 Burger Month going on, and go on to 954burgermonth.com to check out that big heat map so you can see all the different restaurants that are participating. It should also have a breakdown of the specialty burger that they're serving.
You know
And
what I like
this
about
is-
this contest?
Go for it.
I'll be candid with you. Okay, so we almost have in society now, we have two different styles. We have the young creative chefs that are
just going for it.
bringing back the smash mouth, which
Sorry.
smash burger that I grew up with. Okay, which was
Smash Burger, right?
smash burger.
Mhm.
Jack's old fashioned burger has been here a million years. Okay, I used to go up there all the time if I wanted a different type of burger. And then I have my old school style. So the nice thing about these friendly competitions is, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't come down who's the winner, who's the loser. It's an opportunity for people to see and sample and go around it. And I enjoy it. I like going to Gilbert's. I like going to different places. And I think it's just exciting now to see everybody embracing all different style. And for a burger to have its own competition and style and everything, it's just amazing to me. Used to be like a no-brainer. What are you having? Hot dogs and burgers.
Now, I have cut a little piece off for Lubie if he wants, with a little shred of pickle. That part has not been touched or spoiled by
Wipe
Mayo
your face,
wipe my face.
Yeah,
My
Judy
face,
wants you to wipe your face.
it is a mess, but it's a
I thought it was a part of the
glorious mess.
Get these black and grilled wings over by him too.
Oh,
Will you
yeah,
please?
okay.
He loves those.
I thought
I
this.
know. This
I
I,
thought
got
that-
the Shack.
Lubie,
Grill.
do you want
no,
your
the
own
Black and
burger or you
Grill.
want
No,
something
I'm-
else?
I'm
Yes,
How about
get the man a burger.
I'm good.
how about the blackjack steak sandwich or something?
Sure.
Like, that's what he
Whatever
likes.
you want to showcase,
Yeah,
Mr. Pat.
that's one of his favorites. The blackjack steak
So-
sandwich with medium
So-
rare. I
Medium
guess.
rare, yeah.
medium
Medium
rare.
rare.
Yeah.
And
But that's something I appreciate about Pat is look, and that's where your culinary background maybe comes into play. You've been a restaurateur for a long time. You're not worried about the competition, and then that's also your sports background, right? Like competition breeds excellence.
It
Competition
does.
shouldn't scare you. Competition is what you should. It's like that's when Mayo was scared about playing the Bruins. I was a little bit annoyed about playing the Bruins, but I'm like, you know what, good. I wanted to play the Lightning. Let them get past the Lightning. Let them get past the Bruins. And again, if you're a great burger joint, which you guys are a lot more than that, but you do make a fantastic burger, you should want others to try and rise to your occasion and your level instead of being concerned about them.
in order
What's
to
the
be the
worst?
best, you got to beat the best.
You
You
That's
remember
the way it works.
You
in the
remember
playoff.
one of my favorite movies of all time,
What was
The
that?
Raging Bull.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's Joe Pesci.
I
and he's
remember a
playing the
couple of
brother, and he's talking to Jake, and Jake's there, and he's got to take on a fight. He has to make weight,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's taking him for granted. And he says, "Listen, you're going to enter this competition. If you win, you win. If you lose, you win. Why? Because how do you get to go to be a champion? How do you get to be the head of a Fortune 500 company? How do you get to rise to the top in whatever desired thing? You think you're going to win every single time? No. This is good for you. It builds character. It's there. What's the worst that can happen? My wife was right next door. She entered the Orange Theory competition right there next to Gilbert's.
Well, she's
And-
very
yeah, and
competitive.
she's the most competitive person by nature, and nothing. She doesn't walk away from any competition, and she's in the master's class now. I admire that about people. that
No,
are willing.
me. I mean, I don't need to win anything. I just like to enjoy myself. And you know, when you mentioned Raging Bull, what I remember is that he was struggling to take off the weight,
Right?
and his brother, who was also his trainer,
Mhm.
played by Joe Pesci,
Yeah.
just said a little more stooping and a little less eating, and maybe you'll
I
lose
didn't
some
think you
weight.
should say that. No.
He used the F word, which we
Yeah, you
can't
fat
use here.
bastard. Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to the Burger Month, there is actually no competition in the Burger Month itself, but the Sun Sentinel, my friends at my former employer, the newspaper, has been conducting these like best of competitions for different South Florida food
Eateries,
items. They just concluded the donut competition and ended up going to Dandy Donuts, but for the first time, they had like all 5 finalists were pretty worthy, including our friends up the block at Bake Shack. Keith, he makes a good donut. But they just released, they're taking nominations for Best Burger in South Florida. I don't know how they're going to get down to 5 finalists, but it is also done by reader submission. So I urge everybody now to go onto the sunsentinel.com website. You should see a link for nominating your favorite burger. And what I want people to do, again, very subjective. There's a lot of great burgers out there. The thing about food, unlike NBA or NHL seasons, you know, playoffs, 2 teams square off. There has to be a winner and a loser. And at the end of the season, there's a champion. This thing is so subjective. I say in the food world, there's a room to have like 10 excellent burgers in South Florida. I just want to make sure the proper ones get nominated and go through to the finalists. For that reason, I'm going to be submitting a nomination form for here at Shenanigans.
Thank you.
In Dania Beach, 1300 South Federal Highway. I'm also going to have my alter ego.
I may do one Gilbert's.
Do one for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill, because Lenore and Richie, they do a great job up there in Fort Lauderdale. And, you know,
It's tough. Look,
I
mean,
have a tough time coming up with just limiting it to, let's say, 10 in the 3-county area.
if you do the whole
I don't
South
know
Florida.
how they're going to get 5 and
Yeah,
then
but
you actually have one
you're
winner.
like that with people too. Horses, everything. You know, come on.
I
You're
hit the
very
all button.
wishy-washy.
Oh, my
guy,
God.
you
No,
know.
I hit the all button.
No,
That's not
no,
wishy-washy.
no.
Sometimes that's in your best.
trying to cover his
Speaking of
ass.
that, how'd you do in the Derby? How'd you
All
do
right.
Derby
Oh, I
Day?
want to cry. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Because
Jesus.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
the truth.
Sierra Leone.
So whenever anybody tells me something can happen, right?
Yeah.
I listen to them say, "There's never been a Japanese horse that's ever won the
Right.
Derby."
You always like to
I
bet on it.
immediately like go, "Oh, that means something."
There's
there.
always a first.
There's always a first. So I loaded on Forever Young. Okay. I had Forever Young upside down, this way, that way. Of course, everybody saw Sierra Leone. And no offense to Fearless, I throw the chalk out. It's not interesting me. I don't bet enough that it's going to make any difference with these 2-to-1 horses or 3-to-1 horses. So I was greatly affected by that horse coming down because I had it across the board.
Oh, did
it
you
paid
have it?
$5.58. Could you imagine if it had stayed up to a place category?
Well,
Yeah,
Sierra
I would've had that.
Leone had a.
So I would
Sierra
have.
Leone came over clearly.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
actually, at one point, Sierra Leone's jockey
Yeah.
actually reached out.
Tyler Gaffleon, he reached out and
Reached
pushed.
out. In a way,
Yep.
the way it was explained to me was that it was so that his horse wouldn't go into the other one. It was kind of like to keep his horse away from causing a chain reaction collision.
And you're buying that?
But I don't think you are allowed to do that in the sport.
no.
It is
when does that happen?
interference.
Yeah.
No.
And given that the total margin separating those two between second and third was a mere inches, I would have think it should have been automatic steward's inquiry. I mean, after all, this is the race that took down a horse after looking at it for 25 minutes off a ticky-tack,
So is that,
barely
is that how it
brushing
worked? 'Cause
the
they were
country
saying,
house or whatever
They were
it was.
saying in that race, someone did elect a query.
Yeah.
No one did in this
Well,
race.
the
Like,
jockey, but again, it
You know, the
shouldn't have to-
Japanese were good sports, though.
It
yeah,
doesn't
the
have to be that
Japanese
way.
are
Like,
very
you can-
noble people,
They
and
are
the
very good
trainer and the
sports, yep.
jockey didn't want to come into our house in America
That's what they
and
said.
be seen as disrupting anything.
That's exactly what they
But
said.
there is
They got hosed.
the
then-
whole purpose of having
So the
stewards.
stewards can.
Stewards can initiate and always and often do initiate
stewards inquiry.
an inquiry.
Man, am I glad you weren't near me, because if you would have seen how I had that all and everything,
Well, you
would have.
I'm going to show you something during the break, Pat Utter, and don't be afraid. It's my heartbreak came
A
in
triple photo on the Kentucky Derby.
My heartbreak came. So you would have had exactas and all kinds of things.
Everything.
If Forever Young was up.
Everything.
Mystic Dan, again, it was a
Come
great
on.
story for me because
$39 horse.
Kenny McPeak sweeps the Oaks and the Derby. And again, Kenny McPeak, his assistant trainer in New York, is a
You know what my mom's name is?
close personal friend of mine who just had a major medical issue, and McPeak is sticking by him, supporting him. So good karma reached the McPeak barn after he helped out my friend Nick Galati, who Pembroke Pines resident, but now is assistant trainer for McPeak up in New York year round. And Nick is on the men, thank goodness. And the barn is now the winners both of the
Oaks and the Derby.
Oaks, which is Torpedo Anna,
Oh.
and then the Derby, Mystic Dan. I had a $2 Oaks Derby double for $236. Fortunately, I invested $275 on the races for total for the weekend, and my heartbreak came the race before the Derby. I don't know if you remember, it was that turf race,
Nice race.
and I had the number 11 horse with Frankie Dettori, Naval Power,
Uh-huh.
that was ahead the whole way except on the finish line. The
You
last
ran out of
jump,
gas.
that number 5 horse, it was a head bob. It wasn't even running out of gas. It was a great stretch duel. And my horse got nipped on a head bob on the wire. It cost me $1,500.
Oh, jeez.
In
You know what my
pick
mom's
threes.
name is? Anna Maria Di Maria.
Okay.
So what do you think happened in the Oaks?
So in the Oaks, you crushed Torpedo Anna, right?
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
good for you. Okay.
So you
Well,
were
there you
playing
go.
with house
And
money.
she had five kids, and if anybody was a torpedo, she was a torpedo.
Meanwhile, I love being here because we just spent a half hour and eating, talking burgers, talking sports, talking horses. And it's one of the reasons why this is my local, especially during playoff season. We'll see, again, the heat is done. We'll see how long the Panthers can keep it going. Pat, supremely confident. He's placing fistfuls of
I'm
cash
doubled down.
on the Panthers.
him.
And that's always a
I
good
like that.
angle. If you get that opening loss and you still like the team, you end up getting double your money, right?
It's a great
they've gone now-
team.
They've
It's a
gone
great
now
team.
from like a minus 180 favorite to win the series to probably a plus 160.
If you're a gambling man, Wednesday night,
Yeah.
you plunge.
Oh, on that game.
We
You
plunge
plunge on the game, and you should
If you're
also
a gambling man,
plunge
we
on the
plunge
series.
on this.
and then
Yeah.
hopefully we're going to get the conference final. Everybody
This
wants,
is clearly
which
a better
Rangers,
team.
Oh,
Panthers.
Panthers will be amazing.
Rangers,
They can get
Panthers
through
would be
this
great.
somehow.
All right, meanwhile, let's take our first break.
Yes.
It is Tuesday, and I want to talk about our friends at Delaware Chicken and Seafood Farm in Hollywood for over 60 years. 4191 North State Road 7, right across from the old classic Seminole Bingo Parlor, now known as Seminole Classic Casino. but you can't miss it. It's got a big chicken on the roof. You go in there and you get the freshest in poultry, steaks, sausage, house-made, and, of course, seafood and fish. That's the star of the show at Delaware. We'll be in there next Wednesday on the 15th doing our monthly visit. I'm sure we'll be talking about getting the barbecue ready for the big Memorial Day weekend, 3-day weekend at the end of the month. It is the unofficial start to summer. And
It's going to be
season,
humid.
And it's going to be humid the rest of the month. And
Oh, yeah.
rainy season might be here. But again, you get those grills going, all your troubles disappear. Delaware is the place to go. I love all their fresh, seafood, the fish. You get the snapper, grouper. They got branzino from the Mediterranean. Waters near and far featured. Nothing but fresh.
How's that work? They fly it in on ice?
They do. No, they fly it in from the Mediterranean. There's flights leaving every hour from the Mediterranean.
I see it all over the place
Yeah,
now.
No, it's gotten farm raised, in these pens off the Mediterranean. So again, some nice consistent, and I get a little bit of the cost control underway when you have that farm raised branzino. But they also have the wild caught grouper and snapper from the Keys. It's beautiful. Go to Delaware. DelawareChicken.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
All righty, coming back after this, more from Shenanigan Sports Pub here in the Dania Beach, Hollywood. Yeah, Dania Beach, right? Dania Beach area. More burgers, more wings, more fun with the one and only Patrick Utter here on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
Best restaurants in South Florida? Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended for a special occasion or any occasion. Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. If you're looking for an exquisite sushi experience, Kaizen Sushi Bar and Grill in Fort Lauderdale is the place to go. 5640 North Federal Highway, just north of Commercial Boulevard. Chef owner Hui Lam, he's a sushi savant, slicing and serving pristine fish and seafood flown in directly from Japan and around the world. Nigiri, sashimi, special rolls, and omakase dinners. He's ruined me from going anywhere else. It's that good. Open 7 days for dinner and also for lunch. Even if you're not a sushi fan, they have great cooked options, including steaks, chops, rice and noodles, and other Japanese dishes. It's fantastic. For reservations and information, go to kaizenflorida.com. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new burrito tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sampler that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you.
All right, this is something I haven't seen before. Lubie got so consumed by this steak sandwich that he's never had before that he looks like me now. There's grease covering his hands, his face. He got
not even
caught
on you.
unaware by the
Has
end
the
of
mic
the
backwards.
commercial break.
Turn it around.
We've got Pat here. We got him putting on his headset.
So I have to ask you, Mr. Utter,
Yes, sir.
have you been hiding the sandwich?
No, that's my award-winning sandwich.
This
That's
is
a blackened ribeye.
Fantastic.
Yes. Now, here's something that I didn't really tout anything because I really have to explain different nuances with meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether it's an 80/20 certified black Angus
Yeah.
or a ribeye steak, which we're using for our Blackjack's steak sandwich. Okay. So what does Anthony Bruno love to say is good food isn't cheap
Yeah.
and cheap food isn't good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is fresh, never frozen, whole ribeye that we clean up and take down. That's about a 9 to 10 ounce portion. We put it in our blackening spice. We sear it on a sizzler on the charbroiler. Okay, so you get the fragrance of that.
Fragrance.
Yeah,
You got a fragrance.
You get a
alert.
fragrance coming in
Beautiful.
of the smoke, the
It's-
contact. The BTU has to be searing hot. We sear all the juices in. We hit it with the cheese, and away we go. Very simple.
What kind of cheese is this?
I'm not telling you everything.
Okay.
No,
We're
we're not in a
it's not-
competition.
I could take a
I'll
bite
give
and
you
tell
a-
you.
I'll give you a
Come
couple.
on, you're bringing in the pro.
Let's see. Let's see.
I'm
if I
just
can-
curious because it's
let's
not
see
an
if I can-
American. I'm like, it's probably a
He'll
provolone,
figure
but
it
it's
out.
not exactly a provolone either. It's creamier than a provolone, but it feels drier than an
I didn't eat
American.
enough of the cheese to know, but I'm gonna say it's
the
a
key
Gruyere
component that
or no?
complements
Well, that's
it.
what's interesting is I'm like
That's
on a
that's the
ribeye.
one you can't trust.
On a ribeye, it
Can't
didn't need
figure it
the
out.
cheese, but the cheese was a nice
Now I have to lick the bun.
added. Don't lick the bun. It was a nice added flavor, and I'm like, wow, this sandwich is fantastic.
It's not a Gruyere. I don't know
No.
what it is. Pat.
I'm
You
not
got me.
telling
He's
you
not
either
It
telling
doesn't
because,
me.
taste
you
like
know,
a provolone or an American.
when
It's in the
they
middle
come
of
up with the
those
steak sandwich, you won't get that on a flat top.
Oh
Okay,
my
so
God.
that's just the way it is.
two. Isn't that
I'm
ridiculous?
going red meat crazy. This is a ridiculous.
Isn't it ridiculous?
Good.
Is that good?
Isn't
All
that
right.
ridiculous? Like, I literally almost.
I heard
broke-
my name yelled, Pat. That's like either
'cause
I'm
I
in
got
trouble.
lost.
I either came home late from the Hard Rock or whatever. I hadn't heard that scream, but that's a killer
Well, I'm
sandwich.
usually on it, but I meant to take a little bite and then get back, and then I found myself eating half the sandwich
Is this garlic toast?
because it was
Yes.
amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've never had blackened ribeye, but I don't know if I want it any other way anymore. That was amazing.
It's funny. My son loves that. He eats it like twice a week. He's bulking up for football.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Chaminade.
Is he going out for varsity?
Yeah,
Is he
he's on the varsity squad. He's only in 10th
Nice.
grade, but
Oh, wow.
hoping he stays up.
He's on the Chaminade varsity at 10th
He
grade.
is. He
Lineman,
is. He
offensive
is.
lineman?
Defensive end and rusher.
Wow, good
and
for him.
rusher.
That's fantastic.
All right. So how's his speed?
He runs right now like a 4.7.
Oh wow,
He's
that's not bad
6'3",
for a 10th grader.
195-pound 10th grader.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yeah. So
Does he have aspirations to play in college?
I think that the dedication and everything that he's putting into this, and like all these young athletes, Damian Jones happens to be just one of the most incredible moral men I know that build men of character over there at that little Chaminade school. We're rated second in nation.
Yeah,
We
it's not
played
so
St.
little.
Thomas this year.
Nice.
know,
On
they're
a
playing-
rebuilding
they may
year.
be scared of playing.
No,
you.
no, they're not scared of playing anybody.
So I'm
And
saying St. Thomas.
they graduated the best athlete in the country.
We graduated a lot of D1 kids,
that-
but still, that
That
team.
Chaminade,
is solid.
team last year was really impressive.
Well, they
So
were like a
now it's a
college team.
rebuilding year, and he takes on the first games against John Bosco. They're coming from
Well,
California to play
Bosco's a perennial
August
power.
24th. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
All right.
number one in the
I'm
country.
calling timeout. It's
All right,
only
go ahead.
May. We're not supposed to be talking
Oh,
football.
sorry.
We are talking playoffs. And I want to get one more thing in.
Go ahead.
One trend that is a little bit disconcerting to me. Not trend. I mean, Kachuk scored a goal last night. They got a 1-0 lead.
Yeah.
But did you know or hear we got this intel from our friend Mark Falsetto the other day?
Uh-huh.
Matthew Kachuk recently engaged, and he popped the question at runway 84.
What a handsome guy he is, too. I wish him nothing
But
but
that
luck.
scares me.
And do women weaken legs? Do you just wait till after the playoffs to pop the question? Because if
Maybe
you're
you
going to
just want
start
it
growing
settled.
beards, do you want to start changing your, status and single to engaged?
I don't think he's worried about that. Maybe he wanted
Or
to
am I
get it
being
settled.
silly?
I
Maybe
think
she
he might
was,
be one of the best hockey players I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
And
he's
you
not
think
worried
I'm
about
being-
that.
I'm
much
worrying
less
about
in the-
silly stuff?
Yeah. I don't think it's
Women
gonna
don't
affect him.
weaken legs, although he was still going to be with that woman no matter whether
Yeah, she
they're
wasn't going
engaged
anywhere,
or
and
not.
she was probably a pain in his ass. So he decided, you know what? Let me make her a happily married man. I'm finally happily married.
I don't know how long they've been
Have you
together.
asked your wife if she's
I don't-
happy? That's the question.
She
You
knows
might be happy.
She's happy when I do what she wants. So I presume that the now fiance is very happy that there's a ring on her finger prior to when there wasn't a ring on her finger. So
Hmm.
All right.
there's a reason he did it.
Yeah, there's a reason he did it. He scored the goal, so we can't fault him for the game one. It was defense and the goaltending.
Listen,
in period two.
double
All right, we're
down.
gonna-
Whatever
we're gonna-
you got.
Okay, no, I like
whatever
your confidence.
Whatever you have,
And
whatever you were slighted with that,
Okay.
that
Now,
horse taken down.
Before we move on to the basketball side of the street and the New York
Pat
Knicks,
Riley's
who,
chastising
who,
Jimmy Butler.
yeah, we'll get into that in a
Give him
second. But
crap the whole
in the
playoffs.
continuing the vein of sports injuries,
Mhm.
we wish best of health and speedy recovery to
Of
our
Defoe.
co-host Jeff Defoe DeForest. He did get
What
the
now?
official
He
word.
tore his Achilles.
He had a now. I don't know. Is it partially torn? Is it fully
It's
torn?
partially
Is
torn
it-
in the sense that it still is attached, but
Oh.
he said literally it's attached by a thread.
They use the
Oh.
word hanging by a thread, which
So
God
it's-
bless.
he tore his Achilles.
I always tease him, but I'm not teasing him on this. That's a bad
Well,
injury.
Yes, he's
I've been
freaking out
telling him
about
God
it.
bless you, my
forever.
friend.
I've been telling him just give up the tennis, go to pickleball, less ground to cover. But no, he still thinks he's in his 20s, and we do want him to get better.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the middle of getting some new equipment. He's got to wear a brace or a boot. He's going the non-surgical route
Because he doesn't want to be on the
surgery-
shelf for like 2 months.
Surgery is horrible, but this thing is also going to put
It's
him on
not
the
better.
shelf for 3 months. I mean, you just have to rest this thing and hope that
It attaches
that
again.
it just basically kind of
What
heals
a good
up a little
man.
bit.
Speedy recovery, my friend.
Yeah, that's again, and I don't know if he's going to be playing much tennis.
No, he probably done
after
the tennis.
this.
I don't know if he's going to play pickleball. Honestly, like
Well,
it's going to take a while the way he's
pickleball,
recovering.
Basketball, tennis, a good little walk.
You think he
is
can
good.
still gamble?
That's one thing he'll find a way. Jeff
I'm
DeForest
just
will always
wondering.
find
The
a way.
question is, can he burn calories gambling just
That's
by
the thing.
getting up and yelling and screaming?
Scream to scream.
All right, let's get into some of the basketball stuff. You hate the Knicks, so you just hate
Well,
the
I
way
mean, I'm
that the league and the officials are in the tank.
I
for
mean,
the
I'm a
Knicks.
Heat fan, so I'm a Heat fan from the '90s. So
Oh, I
I
had
grew up
tickets then. Yeah.
hating the Knicks. Again, it's very much like the Bills, where I grew up hating the Bills because Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly
Hate's
and
a
Andre
big word.
Reed.
You just don't like.
No, I hated them.
Oh my
they what the Bills did to us in the early '90s, and when Dan Marino really had his best teams, was annoying. And all of them shined. I can name almost that entire Bills team because of how good their defense and offense were against the Dolphins. Now again, the Bills fell off, so it's hard to hate them like I once did. But I have a strong distaste for the Bills. Knicks are very similar. Whereas in the '90s there was a very strong rivalry, so I grew a hatred for them. They fell off for the last 20 years. So the hatred is simmered to
But
more
you
of a
got to
distaste.
admire the grit of this team. They came in as a number 2 seed, and they rallied last night. I guess some help from the officials.
It's
but
just
they
the
were-
refs have been
They were
horrible.
draining threes, and look, let's face it. Who do you think the networks and the league wants in a conference final or beyond?
I mean,
I mean,
No, I don't
they
think
want
that-
a New York Boston conference.
if they get
final.
New York, Boston, they're going to be dancing for joy.
Of course. So Indiana, I mean, you don't have to be a savvy handicapper to realize that the fix is in and just bet the Knicks. to
No.
win. No. Oh, he doesn't like
Oh,
that.
in the series, or because I
In
don't
the
think they
series.
get
You
past
think
the
in
This
the
next
kind of
round.
money, there's no fixes anymore. Come on.
I don't think it's an open fix, but I think they're leaning. Hey,
Yeah, I
if you
think
can
the
help the
Refs
Knicks.
can't be bought.
Okay. I feel like he's being
I
sarcastic.
think he's being very sarcastic. I think some of that Irish
They've
wit.
never had any.
poking its head.
There's never been any impropriety.
I shouldn't be eating the pasta salad either. It's so good. great display of
Yeah,
food
I
here
feel like
today.
we did great
Shenanigans,
ordering, but bad ordering for you.
1300 South Fair Higher. Hey, we got to take another break already.
Yep.
We're just loaded wall to wall with commercial Tropical Acres, 75 years in business, and they are open this Sunday for Mother's Day. There is still some availability left, and what you want to do, give them a call. Well, before I go into them, what do you guys, Mother's Day open here?
Yes. That we are a sports bar. We have a liquor license, and we offer complimentary mimosas to the moms.
Oh wow!
Because you people are the reason why she drinks. She drinks heavily because of your behavior. So come to Shenanigans. If you feel like bringing mom, you must be Irish or have a slight drinking problem of some sort. Because I know if I brought my mom here for corned beef and hash, I am bringing. Okay, all kidding aside,
For brunch, it's appropriate.
I sell so much. Sell so much crab Benedict, and I have crab cakes on on my
nice.
brunch. Yeah, for
That's
mom.
great for brunch.
And I
All
offer complimentary mimosas to all moms, and some moms maybe have more than one. Okay,
Then we have it all figured out. This is the ultimate
Actually
doubleheader.
makes
You
perfect
start
sense.
off, it's a Dania doubleheader for Mother's Day. You start off for brunch right here at Shenanigans.
yeah.
Then maybe go to the beach for a few hours, chill
Okay.
out, maybe get a shower, and then go head over to Tropical Acres for your Sunday Mother's Day supper. And again, they're going to be open from 1 to 8 p.m.
No.
Get in the reservations booked now at 954-989-2500, and you could go enjoy some of their great classics like prime rib, the filet mignon, some of their other great seafood specialties. They're going to have a special holiday menu. They don't raise the prices. They just kind of trim down the selections so they can streamline the operations. They're going to have, I'm guessing well over 1,200 people coming in the doors on Sunday, and you want to be one of them. And right after Mother's Day, it's the return of the Twin Lobster Special. It's a summertime tradition, and great news this year. What inflation? They have the Twin Lobsters at the same price as last year, $39 for those twin lobsters from the North Atlantic with a salad and a side dish. Go in there. And again, tonight, Tropical Acres, half-price wine night, half-price happy hour on the bar, 4:30 to 6:30. All the great things. Go in there and tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
I don't know if anything is half price here, but it'll feel like it when you look at the prices. We're at Shenanigans.
We do have a cool thing going on that when we come back, I'd like to promote. We have a sizzling summer deal here.
Okay,
nice.
We're here. We're all into it.
Okay, we have it. We have a summer special. I think people will like it.
Excellent.
We'll talk more specials, more food,
Alrighty.
and probably more sports here. Shenanigan Sports Pub for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Back after this.
Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. One of the best restaurants in Broward, J&C Oyster in downtown Hollywood. At 2035 Harrison Street, this place is fantastic and worth a drive. It's got creative, cutting-edge seafood and more with an Asian twist and gorgeous cocktails. Chefs Raheem Seeley and Monica Dominguez cut their teeth at some of Miami's best restaurants. Don't miss some of these fantastic dishes, including grilled oysters, fried chicken, and the Thai red curry crab. Open Wednesday through Sunday for dinner with daily happy hour and outdoor seating. Go to jncoyster.com for reservations and information. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. Are you looking for a good New York style slice? How about lunch specials for under $9 that come with garlic rolls and a fountain drink? I'm talking about Stromboli Pizza Kitchen in the Fountains of Plantation, 801 South University Drive. Since 1987, it's been home to Brooklyn-style pies and slices, heroes and paninis, pastas, and all your Italian-American favorites. It's got the unpretentious vibe of the pizza places of my youth with daily specials, family dinners, outdoor seating, eat-in, carry-out, or delivery. Open 7 days a week. Go to Stromboli'sPizza.com to place your order today.
We're back on the Lunchbox. We are at Shenanigans in Dania Beach, Shenanigans Sports Pub, neighborhood place, but you can come here from afar, especially if you're making a airport pickup late at night.
2 miles, 2 miles south of the airport.
That's great.
It is the place to go for people looking for late night bites, especially now that the
Ooh,
summertime
literally
happy
talking about
hour is
bites.
here. And this is one of the things I love, not just in the middle of the afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m., but also for you night owls from midnight to 3 a.m., poker players like me, if we happen to have a score.
We get a lot of Hard Rock people.
Yeah, and that's a smart play. From midnight to 3 a.m., 3 to 6 p.m., a whole bunch of small bites for $8, including a bunch of fries that's served with dressing, a potato skins platter, a cheese pizzetta on cauliflower crust, which sounds like something my doctor ordered, not necessarily something
You won't
I
eat
want.
it, but he'll tell you to eat it.
Do you think? Well, you're saying it's good. I'm going to try
It's
everything
like
once.
matzo toast for you.
I love matzo.
Yeah, like taking matzo and toast
Yeah,
and something.
if you just make it with cauliflower.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
I think I saw one the other day. It looked really good.
My
Sweet-
wife eats it. Look at her. Look at me.
I know. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll start eating the cauliflower crust. Pulled pork sliders, Mexican seasoned nacho platter. These are all available for $8 during the happy hour hours is 3 to 6 p.m., midnight to 3 a.m. And they also have happy hour drinks, but there's no time clock on that because
No.
this is an Irish,
All day,
a
every
proper
day.
Irish
$7.
establishment. $7 drinks, Jim Beam, Captain Morgan, Absolute Vodka, Papa's Pilar Blonde Rum, Jameson Irish Whiskey,
Gotta have
and
that.
Cuervo Margarita. All your solid choices for your basic cocktails that you might need, especially if you plunge on the Panthers on Wednesday and they play
I'm
they did
dumping
on
everything.
Monday.
We
Oh,
might
he's-
not be open Thursday, folks.
Or the prices
Joey Bag
might
of Donuts.
double.
Joey Bag of Donuts might be here.
Joey Bag of
He
Donuts.
might be an Italian place come Thursday.
No,
Sorry.
we have full
What
faith.
happened to the Irishman?
and confidence
He's
in
not
the
with us
Panthers.
anymore.
All right, hey, I want to get into something that you know because you're a longtime restaurant, business person and owner. Chefs, is it me or do they have memories longer than an elephant and an ex-wife put together?
We have to
Because-
understand something.
Yeah.
One of the common components to be a chef is you have to have huge resentment about everything. Okay? What person in this is the funniest thing, but
It's true.
what person in their
It's probably
right
true.
mind
Yeah.
that
Yeah, oh,
was
yeah, yeah.
raised with any self-worth,
Right.
okay, any inkling of respectability would want to have what do you got, 150,000 people?
152 now. Yeah.
152,000 people critiquing his wares, and he makes a modest salary on top of it.
Right.
To
Well,
me, this is
It's
he is not.
it's a recipe
Brad
for
Pitt.
not disaster, but definitely for
alcoholism,
it's and also
recovery,
an industry for, I guess, masochists.
reprobates.
Yeah, masochists.
Reprobates. Yeah, basically.
But no, anyway, yesterday we did a great show. We went up to
A lot of fun. Place is great.
place is called Driftwood. It's in Boynton Beach. I don't know if you roam that far
Sounds
north.
romantic.
But his name, Chef Jimmy Everett. He's the chef owner. Him and his wife opened this place a little over 6 years ago,
And they're still married.
and they're
They're still
married.
and it's still in
But
business.
They
again,
live in
it's
separate
one
rooms,
of those
sleep in separate rooms.
one of those places that's gotten better and better. And he's got a great number 2 chef. His chef de cuisine is a guy named Tommy Coombs. Both of them used to work for our friend Giovanni at the original Valentino's.
Nice.
But accomplished. They've worked at some of the best restaurants around New York City and the world.
Mhm.
Jimmy started off at he was at that 11 Madison Park. He was at WD 50 Wiley Dufresne. He was at Mayo, which was a Michelin-starred Italian restaurant. Anyway, he grew up he was born in Boynton. He came back here. He eventually got enough to start his own place. It's been going strong 6 years. Now, I hadn't seen him. We had a great show yesterday, great
It was really
conversation.
fun.
But again, one of the first things he mentioned, I did a review of the place when it first opened. I gave it 3 out of 4 stars. Said it was recommended.
You alienated everybody.
But
That's high for Mayo.
but it was
Mayo doesn't give
it
it
was one of
three.
those 3 stars because the service wasn't up to
It was
of
new.
what his ambitions were for the food, and you
Yeah.
could tell he was a very talented chef. Food wise, I paid him pretty much nothing but compliments, except in the second to last paragraph, I mentioned he had a dessert that was called cracker pie, which was like a Depression era recipe that he didn't tell me it was his grandmother's recipe. I would have
Ooh.
gone lighter.
So you stepped on his toes with
Well,
Yes.
this is again going back 6 years in a review, second to last paragraph. After all this kind of praise about how this is the kind of place that I love, I said that the cracker pie tasted like sawdust. One of the
Very-
first things he mentions
that.
yesterday.
With
Yeah.
your writing skills, and you expect a guy.
You
to-
remember that?
okay, now let's visualize this. This cracker pie, I don't know. It
it's
reminds me.
just saltines and meringue.
Yeah. So
But his
this is
grandma
something.
made it. It's something
This
the
is
family
something.
loved.
Is he from the Louisiana Bayou? This guy.
No,
Where
he's
is he
from
from
Boynton
here,
Beach.
But
Boynton Beach.
it's a little.
All right,
It's
funny
a
that you
country
said
area.
cracker pie because I met some young football players that was talking about my son, and they said, "Geez, oh, you're his dad?" And I said, "Yeah, he's a tough cracker," and I didn't even know what that meant. So now I know it's a saltine and meringue pie.
No,
Is that what it is? I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's a down. It must be a down home dessert
It
that
must
she came
be.
up with
Look,
that I never heard of.
I called it like I saw
All right,
it
I got
back in the day.
Can I
So, but he-
qualify something?
But he brings it up in the first 5 minutes, and then I felt like a complete asshole because it's his grandma.
Besides Gordon Ramsay trying to redeem himself with children, all right, he is without a doubt one of the most abusive, obnoxious human beings in the world. And he was set out there when he was taking people from low income areas and trying to compete for a decent livelihood somewhere. Name one show.
But I hear
Or
in real life
the
he's
bear-
a decent
I
guy.
don't, I don't believe it.
Okay.
So anyway, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it except with the children.
Okay.
Name one show
Yep.
that you've ever seen where they portray a chef, whoever it is, or
kind or
cooking
sweet.
and anything. Right down to Ratatouille with
Yeah.
the food critic, which reminded me of that guy. What was his name? Mike Mayo. The guy. All right. So name one thing that would be, oh, I want to do this. You know, you understand a doctor. Okay. You're a creative writer. You're
Wait,
this,
you
that.
mean like to go on that
Yeah,
show?
I want to go. No, I
Because
want
you
to be
get
in the restaurant
fame,
business.
You get,
What show motivated you? You have to be a masochist.
wait, to do that,
He's
to
saying
go on
in
Gordon
general.
be a
Ramsay?
chef.
He's saying in general. to be
Anything in
this
a
business.
restaurant.
But
Yeah.
again, chefs have become a glamorous thing. You can eventually become famous and have a fortune, but if you have a strong personality
Strong
and get on
constitution.
TV,
You got to be impervious to
You gotta have a strong
self-examination.
Constitution.
And
You
if you
also-
feel like smashing up some crackers, were they Ritz crackers?
they were saltines.
Well, saltine
Okay.
crackers and
But
throw
don't
meringue
knock it
on
till
them.
You tried it. I tried it, and I knocked it. And he hasn't.
Well, the
forgotten 6
crackers
years
were
later.
very
But
good, but I
Jimmy-
don't think the meringue worked.
He was great. Everything we had yesterday.
No, the
Again,
food was
I urge
fantastic.
everybody to go up there. I don't think the cracker pie is still on the menu.
No,
but
it wasn't.
No, thanks to
But,
you,
his
his mom.
Meanwhile, I'm very happy
her last
now.
wishes were put back my cracker pie.
I did not even ask
Yeah.
if his grandmother was still alive or not. I just didn't have the heart.
He made it seem like she had passed, but
Oh,
we left
okay.
that alone.
But again,
I hope it was before that
Driftwood.
review came out.
driftwoodboynton.com. Go in there, get your tickets for the 20th.
Boynton's
All
a
right.
cool area too.
It's really cool.
It's
And
coming
it's
up,
been
yeah.
built up.
I
and,
like that area.
Even a little bit north of there now, that whole Lake Worth area is coming up. There's some really good
Let's not
restaurants.
go
up there,
that
too.
far.
All
Let's
right,
not go that far.
And I'm getting trolled now by Phil from the Food and Wine Festival. Dude, he says, you spent way too much money on your daughter's high school. for her to be attending a school with a clown college. So he's seeing my
Is
Florida
he a
State.
Gator, I guess?
Are you
I don't
kidding
know
me?
what
Can
he
I
is.
can I relate something to
I think
That's
he's a
going to
Gator.
get Lubie's hackles
Okay.
up. 'cause
No,
he's
I'm not
a
saying-
He's allowed to be a
proud
Gator.
Nolan.
It's
my daughter was lucky enough to attend there when they won the national championship.
Oh,
Okay.
good for her.
I was there for the Clemson games, this and that. She has gone on to, I just love her with all my heart and soul. But here's the thing that what he doesn't understand. Anybody who goes into any institution of higher learning, whether, of course, it's prestigious like the Harvard of the South, University of Florida, the Gators, or University of Miami, private school or whatnot, FSU is synonymous with hardcore partying and working class people that get a chance to go to the next level. Okay. And here's the funniest thing. I kind of like it. It's eclectic. The campus is laid out. Every time you go there, they even have a horrible cheer that I kind of just find myself
Politically incorrect
It's
cheer,
not
the
a
tomahawk.
cheer.
That
There's
is
everything.
sanctioned by our favorite gambling friends over
Yeah,
at the Hard
yeah,
Rock.
it
I'm
is.
telling you, the Seminoles
course,
are big fans of FSU. So
Right. And
it's been worked over
but
many
you know what?
times.
No, that whole image of the partying working class. Well, first of all, I think we all agree that the
I have a
Gators,
nephew there
and,
right now.
with apologies to Val, who's a Gator alum, they were always the little snobby guys.
Yes, they had
were
that
ones
thing with their
driving
nose,
around,
yeah.
with their daddy's money, sports cars, and the cardigan sweaters wrapped around their.
That was the idea. At
their
least. I don't know
necks.
if that
But
was true. or not.
FSU was a little bit grittier. I loved going up there back in the Bobby Bowden days. It was so much fun to be
Can
in
I
that
qualify
atmosphere.
something? You
Yeah,
see
go
these guys over here? They're
Yeah.
former classmates of mine, right?
Yeah.
South Broward, class of 1973.
Oh, wow.
You needed a 2.2 to get into the University of Florida.
Well,
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
So
things have
let's
changed.
stop
I
with
mean,
all this
Florida now,
legacy award and this and
Thank-
that. That's now.
thanks to the
But it-
prepaid Florida tuition
Thank
plan, which
you.
is very progressive,
Yes.
and also thanks to out-of-state and foreign students paying a lot more in tuition, and the
Yes.
state wanting more of those and less of the in-state. It has gotten
Yes.
very competitive for Florida-born students to
Oh,
get
yeah.
into University of Florida and Florida State.
Yes.
Back when Lubie was going, no offense, all you had to do was write your name in the ground with a stick, and you pretty much
When
got
I
into
went,
Florida
State had started to turn it around academically. They hadn't made the total turn. Florida had become, I don't know about prestigious. They're always a little bit weird about their school's never as good as they think their school is, but it was the best quote unquote state school in Florida. That's really what it was. Florida State was trying to turn around. Fast forward, God, it's almost 20 years, which is annoying to me. Florida is amongst, if it's either number one or top three public schools in the country.
University of Florida.
University of Florida.
No,
And Florida
they're in the top
State's-
10 when it comes to
I
University
thought
of
they
North
may be top
Carolina,
5.
University of Virginia, of course, UCLA and UC Berkeley are
Okay.
public schools. But, I mean, they're in
They're
the top 10.
5, the top
And-
10 every
and
year. Florida State's top 20
Florida-
every year now.
Their acceptance rate for, like, in-state students is, like, down below 15%. Florida State, I think, is at about 22%.
Which is
and
or bordering on, like, if not Ivy, it's like bordering on
Ivy is in
elite schools in the
5%.
country.
Yeah, the elite schools like Tufts, where I went, is like in the 9% range. And again, but the SAT scores, Florida, you need a 1400 SAT.
Which is borderline
And
Ivy.
Not
Florida
if your parents,
State,
not if your parents make a $500,000 donation
well,
to the band.
like everything
you
else,
did You're a
everything is
former
negotiable
alumni. Yeah,
in this
we can
world.
we can sit
But
down and talk
Florida
about
State now,
That's not true.
you need like a 1300,
Yes.
or they won't even look at you. And
Florida's a top 10 public, if not higher. Florida State for I think 4 or 5 years in a row is a top 20.
25. Yeah.
Well,
And
they
that
were top
reminds me-
20. I don't know where
Whenever
they
I
are.
hear
It's-
older people talk about this reminds me of like guys that come to the bar and they're like, I was in the Marines.
but
Well, how old are you now? I'm 59 years old. Yeah, well, I was Army. Okay. I went to FSU.
Yeah.
What have you done in the last 40 years, my friend?
Exactly.
Not
Where
much.
are you?
I just eat a lot.
But this is the point I'm making. The guy's really relishing putting down your beautiful daughter.
Oh,
to
no,
say
no.
the fact
Phil,
that
Phil is just
Oh, okay.
teasing. I could take the needle.
All
No,
right.
it's
we
fine.
love Phil.
I've
should
gone
be
at it with
lucky to
Gator
get in
people
anywhere.
for
I
years.
know. I mean, it's just it's. I find all the petty rivalries and jealousy
Oh,
music,
okay.
especially for all you Florida people. I went to.
How about
Tufts.
Pat
That was
Riley
a-
telling
that was
Jimmy
like a little Ivy
Butler
they
to
call it.
shut up?
Oh yeah, let's get into. I mean,
Let's talk about the heat.
we do have to take one more break.
We
We're
do.
almost in overtime.
That
Afterwards,
team's being revamped.
we'll talk about the Heat and Jimmy Butler. Is he a prima donna? What's Pat Riley's next move?
He's done.
And,
I could tell, but
all
I
right.
know Pat Riley.
Well, let's.
We're
let's
waiting to the
first,
25th.
Real
He's done.
quickly, tomorrow we're gonna have a doubleheader morning breakfast at Grandpa's Bagel Cafe in Dairy, and
Great
then
place.
we're doing a happy hour edition at 5 p.m. at the new J&C Oyster 2035 Harrison Street, right down the block
Beautiful
here in
place. Beautiful.
Hollywood. Have you been yet? Because
I have. All right. I go down Harrison Street on the way home, and I have just been mesmerized by how beautiful it is and nice. I'm going to try it now that unfortunately,
I went in
now we're
there,
in May.
I wrote
We'll
it
go
up.
midweek.
I went in last time. It was barely open 3 weeks, and I usually don't touch a place till it's open a month. But I heard such good things from Michelle, who went in there opening weekend and said everything was on point because that chef Raheem Sealy and his assistant Monica Dominguez used to work at Q in Wynwood, which is one of my favorite restaurants. And he's brought a lot of those techniques and kind of the small plate, Asian influence, a lot of high-end seafood, some
Did
great
you bring the
crab
smoker
dishes.
style too?
I don't think they have a
about
smoke.
that?
They have
How about that cauliflower?
they
thing
have a bone
Oh my-
marrow. They have a cauliflower with a blue cheese and a
Because
spicy butter.
Q is my favorite Wynwood
Well,
restaurant.
then you
They're
got to
closed
get
right
nice.
now.
you got to
you-
get
oh,
your
yeah,
butt
then you
down.
would
Come
like
on
it.
down tomorrow at 5, and we can eat some beautiful dishes together
I
there
might
because
just take you up on
they
that.
have the roasted cauliflower, and at Q they did it with kind of that a little bit of that green sauce with the
I'd love
shiso
that. I
sauce.
love that.
Here he's doing it with a spicy butter sriracha, not a sriracha, but he's just calling it a chili butter with blue cheese
No
crumbles.
fried
melted
chicken
on it.
like you too.
He does have a fried chicken on the
Oh.
menu, also with a sirachi butter. It's
Because I'll kangaroo everybody
it's
in this
awful.
place over a hamburger
Jay-
to eat some good fried chicken.
Jay-
I'm a chicken wing
It's a
connoisseur.
boneless fried chicken, a little bit different, but
Oh.
delicious. J&C Oyster, downtown Hollywood. We'll be there tomorrow night, 5 p.m. You ought to go check it out. It deserves support.
Beautiful place.
Because we need more independent, really innovative restaurants in the South Broward area. All right, let's come back after these words, and we'll wrap up this edition with a few parting shots about the heat.
Ooh, there's plenty to.
A sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. From a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar. A great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7,
And they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back. Lubie is in fine form today. He's eating. He's going off on rants. Meanwhile, I love Shenanigans because it's just sprayed with TVs wall to wall, including one of them showing the Lunchbox simulcast. And but I'm looking over on the wall here. I see Colin Cowherd on FS1. Man, how many Botox injections and facelifts have this guy? I don't recognize his face. His face looks like if he, had his Madame Tussauds Wax Museum replica instead of him on the show. And I'm saying he makes Bob Costas look like a piker. I mean, Costas used to have a facelift every other, year for the Olympics, but Colin Cowherd, I don't know. That's they're all getting
I leave that to
pretty
you.
and cosmetic. Not me. What you see is what you
Not
get.
us.
Untouched by any drugs,
Any knife or anything,
medications, or knives or surgeons.
Well, we're touched by lots of food, and we're very lucky
We
to
are
do that and
touched.
blessed. And today
And we've
is
lost
no different.
We've lost Pat Utter, but that's okay. He's like any good publican, not Republican, publican, one who runs a pub,
Yep.
a sports pub in this case.
He's
He's
working the room.
mingling with his guests, some long time.
While he
regulars.
does that,
Yeah.
we will be there. Is it this Thursday? It feels like it hasn't been
Batch.
that long.
Yes.
But I did want to, since it's not too far from here, and it is a place we love to frequent, and since Pat's not here, I don't love shoving it down his throat, even though he appreciates everyone we work with. We appreciate Kevin Batch. And
Kevin and
I love that
Batch.
Kevin is such a huge Let's Eat fan that he literally puts stuff on Let's Eat as
Yeah.
and he's open to whatever people are going to say, and I believe him.
We're talking about Batch new Southern Kitchen and Tap in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 525 North Federal Highway. They got the free parking garage right next door. Makes things very easy. They're open for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Great place to go with just a date or a big group. And yeah, Kevin, I tell you what, he's shrewd. He's a genuine Let's Eat South Florida fan. And when somebody praised one of their vegan offerings, a jackfruit dish that he
That
had,
thing looked pretty cool.
and they're playing around with more vegan and vegetarian offerings because he knows that's a big thing, especially among the younger crowd downtown Fort Lauderdale.
And we're getting to summer
So-
too. You want lighter fare.
And so he kind of floated, or he submitted a post talking about some things they're playing around with, and he had this picture of these very intriguing, I guess he called them corn ribs. It was
Yes.
just cut off strips from corn on the cob that they kind of did a dry rub,
Yep.
and they kind of treated them like ribs that you can kind of ribs you eat on the bone, cob, but with just not the full corn on the cob, but in these strips, they look like ribs. Very inventive. Now, we have a no promotion rule
He did
on
not
the group
advertise at all.
from
Because it'll get crazy.
from restaurateurs.
That's all they would do all day.
for good reason. Now that thing was sitting in the bin, and then one of the other, I'll let you see beneath the hood. One of the other admins was saying, I don't know, this thing it's vaguely promotional, but it's kind of riffing off a previous post, and it's
Yes.
also soliciting input, and it's interesting and it's
Yes.
engaging. And
It didn't seem like anyone went that way.
and he wanted to know, is it okay to approve this? And there's three of us that kind of are the committee
Yeah.
that oversee it. Me, unlike certain Supreme Court justices, I recused myself
Yes,
because
yes.
I said
We're
I can't
biased.
weigh on this because Kevin and Batch are a sponsor
Yeah.
of the Lunchbox show.
And Kevin
But I
understands
said, but I'll say this: I do appreciate any post that is not a bitch about a fee or a
Yeah.
receipt picture. So,
that. Yeah.
and again, the third admin, Gretchen, our friend, weighed in and said, I like it. So they approved it. And it
Nice.
got a nice.
No, I saw it. I just wasn't sure how it got
Yeah.
through. I'm like, I don't think the Mayo's actually good about trying to stay away away
Well,
from
I
all
don't want
that.
anybody to say, "Oh, you're just a self-promotional." Yeah, on this show,
No, for sure.
we love our sponsors, but there is a separation, and
Yes.
that when I'm admitting the group, I will let negative reviews about Tropical Acres on
Yeah.
there, partly because it just starts
It brings
this
up attention.
feeding frenzy.
Well, that's the thing. Kevin's okay.
Kevin-
He openly said positive or negatives are open. And he said we appreciate.
Just spell the name right and make sure they know that there's free parking, and then there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Exactly.
But again, I think there's also help. It's helpful to restaurateurs that if people, they could point to an issue that maybe you realize was an issue. The best restaurateurs will take criticism constructively and reflect on it and see if they can improve on anything. Sometimes people are just full of it and just griping for the sake of griping, but there is obviously a utility to the whole thing. And anyway, getting back to Batch, they appreciate it. They get it. We appreciate them. And again, on the show, we love them. And but I go to these places, whether it's like Cafe Seville last night, I ask for a bill. I pay the bill. There's two separate things. And that way I can still kind of write about dishes that I have that I enjoy, whether it's a sponsor or not a sponsor, or a soon-to-be sponsor or a former sponsor. Yeah. All right. That's it for me. Yes, I'm proud FSU Dad.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
very,
I'm
very proud of my daughter.
I've dated Gators. I understand. My uncles, both of them, are Gators.
I'm dating a Gator right now.
Yeah, exactly. And they are good Gators. They're good Knowles. I am full of congratulations for your daughter, and I'm proud to have her join the Seminole family. I love that you're more into FSU than anyone I know already.
Proud. I love the vibe of that town. I like the whole. It feels like
a college town, and that's what's cool about it.
So, what do you think? I mean, Pratt's down on Riley and the Heat and everything.
I went the other way. I think Riley knows what he's doing. I think he does it, and I think Jimmy Butler is a guy with thick skin and
thick or thin.
Thick. Jimmy Butler likes to poke, so he expects to get, nudged back. I think they'll work it out. To be brutally honest, I don't know how you pay him that money, but I also don't see them getting rid of him.
I hate the way the Northeast press just hates the Heat so much that everything is reflected through the prism of, Jimmy Butler should come to the Sixers. He's exactly what Embiid needs. Well, how about getting Embiid down here or something like that?
Well, he was there, and they picked both Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris over him. So, no, he's not running to go back to the Sixers. He knows where he is. He knows why he's here. And we'll see. Look, Riley's done that for years where he doesn't do a lot in the press, but once in a while, he likes to throw stuff in the press. I think he'll still be here. He openly said they're not trading him, and they have 2 years left on the contract. So,
all right. All this sports talk, I'm sure Joanne is just ripping her hair out. I didn't even get to that picture of the lamb on a spit with the head and the teeth showing. That was posted on the group this morning by our friend Dr. Nick Tranicus. That was his Greek Easter celebration that Hui was at on Sunday, and I'm going to see our friend Hui at Kaizen, again, one of our great sponsors tonight, because they just celebrated their 5th anniversary on Sunday. 5/5 was their opening date, May 5th. They celebrated 5 years. I'm going in there tonight with my daughter and also other people, including Val and her daughter, and I'm going to come with a big, nice anniversary gift for my man Hui, because he deserves it. He does a great job. All right, I think that's it. We're done.
Tomorrow,
tomorrow an odd day. Don't look for us at 1 o'clock because we're not going to be here. We will be here on the airwaves, 10:30 a.m. with our friend Mark Freed at Grandpa's Bagels and Deli. And then later in the day, a happy hour 5 p.m. edition from the new J&C Oyster in Hollywood. Until then, enjoy every burger, enjoy every wing, and enjoy every sandwich.